Now that you have received a Congressional Discretionary Grant for a federally funded project, it's time to learn how NJDOT supports your project from start to finish. Congressional Discretionary Grants, also known as earmarks, are managed by local resources and community development. They're different than U.S. DOT discretionary grant projects, which are managed by the Federal Highway Administration. Please pay close attention to the earmark language as it may define the scope of work. Keep in mind, this language cannot be changed through NJDOT. Any changes require an act of Congress. Local aid plays a critical role in managing federal funds through its stewardship and oversight agreement with FHWA. To access earmark funds, your local public agency or project must be listed in your region's Transportation Improvement Program. Contact your local metropolitan planning organization to ensure your project is in the TIP. Local aid will complete an eligibility assessment of your project to help ensure it meets all the right requirements from the start. We will guide you through the required paperwork and provide examples as needed. After eligibility is confirmed, projects move through review and selection, then award notification, acceptance, federal authorization, agreement and execution, and finally, the release of funds to begin work. Projects using federal funds must follow the requirements of the following acts: the National Environmental Policy Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Buy America Act, and the Brooks Act. Keep in mind, these projects do not need a funding match, and funding will become available through reimbursement. Your LPA will need to pay up front and invoice NJDOT. Federal projects follow 4 phases. Concept development, which defines the purpose and need through data, public input, alternatives analysis, preferred option selection, and preparation for design approval. Preliminary engineering, which secures environmental approvals and begins engineering, utility, and right-of-way planning. Final design, which includes acquiring right-of-way, securing permits, and completing the PS&E package. And lastly, construction, which involves advertising and awarding the project, building it, preparing as-built drawings, and closing out the project. Some projects qualify for a limited scope process, like guide rail replacements or roadway resurfacing, streamlining approvals and delivery. Limited scope projects have minor permit needs, minimal impact, and skip the preliminary engineering phase. Public outreach is a key part of every project. It should be right-sized to match the scope. At a minimum, a public information center for limited scope projects, and more in-depth engagement for full scope efforts. Don't forget that each project must have a responsible charge, a trained, qualified individual overseeing scope, cost, and compliance throughout the project lifecycle. While federal projects require more documentation, they offer greater funding opportunities and support for larger initiatives. So what's next? You can look forward to a kickoff meeting, eligibility assessment, and support with all phases of your project. Visit NJDOT localaidrc.com for more information.